Uplifting, unlimited. You.
Welcome. I am Maria, also known as Brown Girl Interrupting, and this is Pain to Power. This is the show where we talk about turning our struggles into strengths, where we heal in community. It is brought to you by the I Rant Network. Please make sure that if you haven't done it yet, that you have subscribed to this channel, you hit the like button, and that you are joining us in the chat to share your thoughts and your conversations. So there is a question that sits underneath so many of us in our lives, and it's quiet, it's persistent, and often it's unanswered. Am I enough? Not in the loud performative ways that we try to prove it, but in the quiet moments when we're alone with ourselves, when we're not being chosen, when we're not being seen, when we're not quite sure where we belong. This week, I had the pleasure of co-authoring a piece on Substack with Kevin Guinea for his series of The Unfinished Question, focusing on this idea of on enough. He posed this idea and he wrote, "Most of us move through gray spaces where enough is a moving target. It is a threshold we sense but rarely measure with precision. We enter the vast interior territory where only self-honesty can draw the line." So this idea of enough is one that leads us to question ourselves, our roles, our contributions to our home, society, and in every space that we enter. And in this piece that I'm about to read, I explore how the question of enough isn't really about worth. It's about identity and about how much of ourselves we've shaped around being accepted, around being loved, around trying to fit into the spaces that were never designed to hold us fully. And what happens when those spaces fall away? Who are you when you're no longer performing belonging? This is how the idea of enough and identity has been an intersection of my pain to power evolution. So I'd like to read some of this unanswered question on enough. I used to believe my superpower was resilience. I wore it like armor, like a badge, like something I had earned through surviving things that were never meant to be survived alone. And maybe it was. For a time, resilience carried me through being 22 and pregnant, through becoming a mother before I had fully become myself, through navigating expectations, culture, marriage, motherhood, work, and the constant shifting of what life demanded from me. It carried me through leaving, through rebuilding, through holding everything together when there was no one else to hold it with me. Resilience taught me how to endure, how to adapt, how to keep going. But what I am realizing now, slowly and not without resistance, is that resilience was also rooted in something else: scarcity, a quiet inherited belief that there is never quite enough. not enough stability, not enough security, not enough love, not enough room to fall apart. And so we become the ones who hold it all. And as a South Asian woman, I don't think this story is just mine. It lives in our lineage, in the echoes of colonization, displacement, survival, and sacrifice, in generations that learn to tighten their grip on everything: resources, reputation, family control, because at one point they had no choice. Scarcity became wisdom. Holding it together became survival. Endurance became identity. And somewhere along the way, that translated into how I understood enough. Enough meant doing more. Enough meant being more. Enough meant proving over and over again that I could carry what was placed on me. I learned to measure my enoughness by how much I could hold, how much I could give, how much I could withstand without breaking. And when I did break, I made sure no one saw it. Even now, I can feel quickly I am enough can turn into I am not. It shifts in a moment. So I hope you please go read the full post on Substack and share what resonates with you. What I'm really excited about is today's conversation with someone who has been living and writing about that question in real time. Cassie Karch is an author, writer, speaker, and a mother of 4 grown children. Cassie has an infectious and bubbling spirit. She has a heart for people and is intentional about finding joy in even the smallest things. She works hard to uplift all people through her writing and weekly inspirational videos on her social media platforms. Please welcome the author of Identity Crisis and her most recent book, The Odd One Out, Miss Cassie Karch. Welcome, Cassie.
It's Cassie, but thank you very much.
So sorry.
It's
Cassie.
okay. I was like, people do that all the time. And I was like, in order for you to remember this thing, no Diddy, okay? Cassie.
No, Cassie. And you know what, Cassie? That is like the worst on me because people come on here and don't pronounce my name right. So Maria and Cassie here today and, to talk about this idea of enough and pain to power. And you are doing some amazing things, lifting up so many people. But, you know, I want to get into your story. So first off, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know, I've been up since 2 o'clock. I had to work earlier today, but now I'm home and ready to get this conversation started. I'm great. How are you doing?
I love it. I'm great. I am good. And it is really an honor to have you here. And I'm so glad that you are with us. And so thank you. And I see we already have some people in the chat. Boeing 777 has, hey, Cassie, I love it. And Learning to Live in Translation says, hi, Maria and Kevin. I love it. Welcome. And thank you so much for being here. So, Cassie, whenever I invite guests over, I always ask, what your relationship is between the idea of turning pain into power.
Ooh. You know, my pain is my purpose. So everything that I've been through is a testimony to how strong I am. And it's been a lot of mess, but that's why I have this message. So without pain, who are we? We're all going to be in some sort of pain. And I've been through the mud. I've been through some stuff. Oh my God, I don't look like what I've been through. And I know none of us look like what we've been through. But my pain turning into purpose is using my story to uplift and encourage and let people know who have gone through the same things that I've gone through that you can make it. One step, one breath, one smile, one cry, one anger, whatever it is that's going to get you to take that next step to keep moving into the right direction. That's how I'm using my pain for my purpose, is sharing my story from how I got here, my story from birth to now is just a lot of stuff that comes from the beginning all the way till right now. Because to share, continue to encourage, even when I don't feel encouraging, and use my pain to help someone see a better light and see their way out.
Mm. That's a beautiful
I don't know if I
thing.
answered your question.
No, you absolutely did. Your pain is your purpose. But I think to your point, right? You've been doing it through telling your story from beginning to end, from the, and inspiring others to find their path to that purpose faster, right? By giving them the tools to do it, which is a beautiful thing. And I think there's so much alignment in the work that we do. I do want to say we're having a little bit of a technical thing where I think you go in and out a little while. So if I ask you again, that's because I haven't heard something you said, and I want to make sure we capture everything you're saying. So, I just to let you know. But I appreciate that. And to your point, right, from birth to now, because nothing happens in a vacuum. Who we are doesn't start right now. It starts from the beginning parts of our lives. And I kind of talked about that right at the beginning, just in thinking about, how we inherit certain things from our generations before us. So when you think back to your own upbringing, tell me a little bit about just what do you feel were some of the things that were nurtured into you in who you are, in the way you see things, and what might be some of the things that you've chosen to be over time?
That's a hard question to answer. First, I'm not even supposed to be here. I was a premature baby when I was born. So I'm a miracle. You're looking at a miracle. Nurture. I can say nurture would be what my grandma instilled in me. She instilled in me hard work. She instilled in me family. She instilled in me never give up, keep pushing forward. You got to work. Closed mouth don't get fed, and we can't expect everything to be handed to us. And so no matter how hard it gets, you just got to keep getting up every day and keep pushing forward. She nurtured me because she was there for me when my mom couldn't be there for me. Mm. So my grandma just taught me that family is important, work is important, unconditional love is important. And that is something I believe she nurtured in me. And with everything that I've gone through in life, the choices that I've made to where I am now, I just choose to be kind. No matter how mean you may be to me, I just choose to either turn the other cheek or speak blessings over you. So that is something that I've had to learn on my own. It's not to respond how the old me would want to respond, but how the new and improved, loving, encouraging, seeing people through God's eyes want to respond, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's a powerful shift too, though, of that choosing, choosing, not choosing, but choosing, right? Like to be really intentional with it. And it sounds like a lot of times people don't realize that kindness is not always easy for everyone to choose, right? It is not always nurtured into everyone to choose, right? So, I want to go back a little bit because it sounds like you said, right, that you weren't even supposed to be here, right? Let's go into a little bit of your upbringing of like some of the things that you had to choose kindness through.
So my mom, so I was born a preemie. My mom got into a car accident and I was born 3 months early. So when I was born, I was 2 pounds, 11 ounces. And then I started to lose weight and I got down to 1 pound, 15 ounces. And the doctor told my mom, it doesn't look good. So just from the beginning, I'm born out of a car accident into trauma as a preemie, and the doctor's telling my mom she's not going to make it. But look, I'm here. I've been through a lot with bullying and not knowing who I am. My mom is white, my dad is Black. And so growing up in a predominantly Black neighborhood, not always feeling like I belong, or I don't feel like I belong, and then they don't make it easy for me to belong. because I'm too black to be white and I'm too white to be black. So I'm somewhere caught in the middle. And so I already lost your question. I'm so sorry.
No, but I think you're telling it, right? So can I ask you a little bit more? Because
Go ahead.
I think you're giving us the information, right? Because your book, Identity Crisis, right? Like Cry-Sis is really about some of this. And then your most recent one is going back to your story, right? So, you're talking about the identity of being biracial and what you had to navigate through that. When you think about that, how did that start to shape how you saw yourself, or even some of the the confusion that it might have caused for you?
So I never felt like I belonged. And anytime I hated looking in the mirror, because anytime I look in the mirror, I would see ugly. And that comes from being bullied. I was bullied a lot, made fun of. My mom was white. She didn't know how to do our
Casey,
hair. She didn't know we need
Casey,
grease in it. We'd always.
I'm sorry, the volume is going in and out, and I don't want to miss anything you're saying. So I know that you started to talk about your mom and you.
Why is it going in and out? Maybe I'm too far away from the computer.
Not sure.
If I scoot up, is that gonna mess it up? Can you hear me now? If I go
can
right
hear
here?
you now. I can
Okay,
hear you now.
let me just stay right here. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know where I was
You
at.
started to talk about your mom and your hair.
My mom, being white, did not know what to do with us in our hair. So we would walk around looking like ragamuffins. On top of that, we didn't have a lot of money, so we're poor. So I never wore anything that matched. I'd be wearing pink with purple, with green. I mean, just crazy. And so I was bullied a lot, told I didn't matter. I also was molested as a child. So not knowing, oh God, please don't start. I hope you don't hear that. Please don't start.
All right. We got kids, we got dogs in the background. Life is lifing. Keep
Okay,
talking.
yes,
It's
the
okay.
dogs are in the black. I was
We're here for
praying
you.
they
We're
would be
here for
quiet,
you.
but
Don't worry about it.
So just struggling to belong, just struggling as your self-worth. When I was in not middle school, 5th grade, I would get teased a lot because I didn't develop as much as the other kids. And so I would always get picked on by the black girls, and they would bully me all the time, bully in elementary, bully in middle school, just bullied all the time. And so you just don't understand your self-worth. You don't think you're beautiful. I never looked in the mirror. I hated looking at myself. And so I struggled just to see myself as beautiful. I struggled to see myself, where do I belong? So my mom is white, my dad is black, and we didn't grow up with my dad's family. So we're mainly around my mom's family, but we're the only black kids. Mm. So we didn't realize at the time that there was a lot of subliminal, like, we don't really mess with you like that. Mm. So when you grow up and you already don't feel like you belong where you're supposed to be, then you struggle. And I struggled so much that I found a culture that I was able to identify with, and I just scooted on into them. So I wasn't black, I wasn't white. I just started hanging out with Polynesians, started learning the language, and then I just became a Polynesian girl.
So you found your space.
I found a space until I realized that as a black person, people don't really mess with us like that. They tolerate us to a certain degree, depending on which spaces you're in. But because of the indoctrination of white supremacy that is so ingrained in our DNA that anything black is whack, that eventually their true colors started to come out. And so no matter how hard I try to fit in, I never really truly belonged.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing all that. I mean, I think like I know I see it in the comments, right? Like that's a lot of heaviness for I mean, you're talking about your youth, right? Like that's a lot of heaviness from so many different angles, from home, from extended family, from direct family, from school, from people around you, all leading to a lot of confusion and pain. Um, as you as you think about that and you think about being that young Cassie at the time and processing, all of that, how did you get to how did you like help yourself move through that? Like what were the things that kept you going still? So you talked about your Polynesian community, but was there anything else that kept you going?
I wrote poetry when as a youth. So I used to write poetry to escape and to try to understand what was happening in my life. I still have that poetry. It ain't sitting right here in front of me because I should have grabbed it. It's over there. But anyways, I used to write poetry. I read a lot of books, and eventually I got into the streets. And so I found a family in the streets, in the hustle life, that would accept me as a youth, as a teen. And that was my community till I got into some trouble. But anywhere I could fit in is where I fit in. Anywhere that I became a chameleon. And so when I was with the Polynesians, I'm Samoan. I speak the language. When I'm at the girls' club, then I'm something else. Like I just became someone who would morph into something to fit somewhere so that I wasn't excluded.
Hmm. What did that do to you internally to have to navigate that morphing and chameleon, right? Like sometimes we do that. People do that to fit in different spaces, but there's a cost to it. What was
The
that
cost
cost for you?
is that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No, no.
is that I never really fully understood myself. I never really know who is Cassie? Who are you? Like you, all these people, these different identities, personalities to fit in all these spaces, but who are you? I never really tapped into who I am because everything that I was trying to do was to belong to something.
Mm. That's heavy, though. It's heavy to think that not knowing who we are, right? And that's where we get lost. And that's what we talk about, both you and I, right, in our work is this losing of ourselves. So, how did you finally really come to knowing who you are? So, you talked about your poetry and your writing. Was that part of that avenue for you to get to closer to understanding yourself? Or were there other things that led you there?
The writing helped, and the digging into family and to putting the pieces together because my mom didn't really mess with me like that. Um, when I was 13, she kicked me out. A lot of abuse in the home, a lot of abuse to my mom, and then my mom turned around and I had a lot of abuse, and then my siblings got abused a lot, but I got beat up a lot. And so she never really accepted me in my perception. So I had to find other ways to be accepted. Then I went and stayed with my grandma. I think I lost what your question was because I get to talking.
Oh,
You want to repeat your question?
yeah. So, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
no, it's okay. No, I'm I lost it too. My apologies. I was listening to you. We were in the zone. No, I mean, it's so much, right? It's so much that
It
you've
is a lot.
grown, but
I've
what
been
I'm
through a lot.
wondering is like, but you survived it, right? So that's the thing, and I think that's the thing you keep talking about with others is that you made it through. So writing was a piece of it. Finding community was another piece, right? And you said your grandmother, so you were talking about your grandmother.
My
How
grandma
did
took
she
me
help
in.
you
Yeah,
in
she helped me.
your finding yourself and healing still?
I'm still working there. I'm still on that road, but I can tell you that I'm about 95% of the way. And it took the writing, it took my children, it took um, understanding the family dynamic and understanding once I finished. So my first book, I take you through birth all the way to the age of 45, and I take you through everything that I've been through. I mean, when you look at me, you don't see someone who was in the streets. You don't see someone who was gang banging. You don't see someone who was locked up twice. Young teen mom. I mean, I done been through it all. Been in domestic violence, abused, all the things. Trying to find a way to fit in. Like I just want to be loved, but at the end of the day, you have to love yourself. Mm. And so I'm finally at a place where I love me. So your love is extra. Today clowning up a storm.
We lost you for a second after you said your love is extra. I was on it. I was like waiting for the next thing.
I said I love me. I love me completely. And it took me to get to this point. Like, so my first book, like I said, is from 0 to age 45. My second book is from 45 to age 50. And my first book introduces you to everything that I've talked about so far, plus a whole bunch of other stuff that I've been through that I've had to overcome in the midst of trying to find who I am. Because over those years, like I was even.
We lost you again.
I'm so sorry. I call it, I did time in ministry. So I did 18 years in ministry. So that was another part of my identity that I was lost in.
Tell me a little bit more about these 18 years in ministry. What does that mean to you doing time in ministry?
I gave everything, my heart, my soul, my finances, my talents, my children, because I love God. Don't get me wrong, I love God. But sometimes, in the midst of loving God, people gonna people. And I gave so much that I had nothing left for me. So not only was I working 2 full-time jobs, and my kids were in sports and all the things, basically I was working full-time ministry. So I gave so much of myself to everybody else and everything.
Lost you again.
Maybe I need to just get really close to the thing.
I'm sorry, I can't help with that. I'm not sure what the technical thing is, but I definitely don't want to miss what you're saying.
Let me scoot down and scoot up. I hope I'm not messing you up, Ja. I'm closer and down.
Sorry, we want to hear you right now.
Ministry took a lot of time, effort, sacrifice, and I didn't know who I was because my identity was tied into the ministry. I was the pastor's secretary. I was a deaconess. I was the head of the singles ministry. I worked in the youth ministry, the children's ministry. I was just everywhere. And so with all that, it's like, well, who are you in the midst of all that? So it took me leaving the ministry and really start honing in on writing my book to figure out, well, who are you? You're not all those things, because a lot of times we hold on to stuff that people put on us. It ain't even ours.
Yeah. And then we overgive, right? To compensate for all those things that someone has put on us.
And it's a trauma response too, like always being busy. You know, it's a trauma response as to how I was raised up, latchkey kid, make sure this is done, that's done, all the things. Feeling guilty of just sitting down and just being with yourself, but I got to keep moving. You know, no, you don't. It is okay to rest.
So what was the catalyst for you to realize that it was okay to rest? Because it sounds like there's it's a lifetime of doing for others, right? To your point, like it's a trauma response, to overgive, to want to feel like if I do enough, I will get enough, right? And that never does seem to happen, back to like, right, where we started at the top of the show, right? So what was that moment for you where you finally actually really said enough and focused in on you? You talked about the church. Was there something that happened in that moment? Was there something, I know that you mentioned that when we were talking that in 2020, there was really this fracture with the church. Or was there something else?
It took my son having a medical emergency. It took me losing my grandma, me losing my mom. Like my grandma passed in 16, my mom passed in 17, and then I lost my position in the ministry in 18. At a time, like the end of 17 going into 18, at a time when all I had left was ministry. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of was like, oh, wow, okay. I still kept serving, stepped back a little bit, still kept serving. Heart wasn't in it anymore. And when the pandemic hit, when COVID hit, the door was open. A lot of other stuff happened. I ain't trying to throw nobody under the bus. If you want to learn more about it, please pick up the book and read it. But when COVID happened, it was like the doors open. We didn't have to be inside anymore. So we're not in the church. I'm not serving. I'm not doing all the things that I need to do because we have to stay at home. And so that was my opening to pause. And when nobody was checking for us during Corona, knowing that I've been a single mother the whole time we've been in ministry, knowing that I've been raising kids, nieces and nephews, and you ain't finna check for me. It was an eye opener. That at the end of the day, you got to check for yourself. So sitting down during COVID and writing my book, coming to terms with how I was feeling about my mom, my grandma, and things that happened in my life, and understanding who I am. And I'm not just a mom. Like, we have all these titles. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're an auntie, but who is Myra? Who is Cassie? Out of all those titles, who are you? Right. I'm human, number one.
Right.
But I'm love.
Lost you again.
So I said, who are you? Who is Myra? And who is Cassie? Outside of all of the labels that they give us: mom, wife, daughter, auntie, worker. But who are you under all that? We're human, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I've come to understand that I'm love, because God is love. And I love to give love. So much so that I had a coworker say, you might need to back up on giving them hugs, because I just like to give hugs.
Who are you hugging too much?
And if you say yes, I'm giving you a hug. Because we need human touch. I mean, I don't get a lot of human touch in the day.
No, and we need love, right? Like, we need joy. But I think, to your point, right, like when you hold roles and it's about your performance and your productivity and your giving and what people can get from you, there is a loss of you just allowing yourself to be. And it sounds like COVID is where that really came to light for you, is that lack of space for you to simply just be Cassie, loved to just be Cassie. So, so much of this, I feel like, has been other people doing things that have impacted you. And you talked about coming to terms with people, with your mom, with your grandma, with the church. Where does forgiveness fit in this? And what did you have to do to come to what you needed to feel like there was forgiveness? Because if you're talking about love, right, that's a component of it too, right?
I had to pray I had to continuously pray, because we learned that if I say your name and there's still some irritation behind it, I haven't forgiven. And so every day I would say, God, just bless my mom, or bless my kid's father, whether I felt like they needed to be blessed or not. I'm asking God, please just bless them. I don't know what you're going to bless them with, but just bless them. And the more that I ask God to bless them, the more that I can find myself to come to forgive. And not only do I need to forgive them, but I need to forgive me. I need to forgive me, one, for tolerating. I made the choice, but two, I'm no angel in it either. Like, I wasn't always a good daughter. I talk back. You gonna come at me sideways, I'm gonna come at you too. But that's disrespectful, you know? So learning to forgive myself that I'm not perfect, learning to forgive them, but prayer and speaking blessings, even when I didn't want to, when all I wanted to do was bust somebody upside their head, I'm speaking blessings. Because it could be challenging to love on people who just are just not lovable.
There's some serious strength in loving through pain, right? Like loving someone through them not showing up for you, right? That takes a lot of strength. And I appreciate it because I think what I heard you say, just thinking of tools people can take away, right, is that you had to pause a little bit and listen to yourself. What's coming up for you really wasn't about the other person. It's what's on me when I say their name, when I think about them, and recognizing where that's coming from. So there's a remembering in that of a pattern that you've hold on to, which is so important in our healing journey, right? So, and I think all of this also comes back to how you have found belonging. So now, having gone through all of this, what does belonging look like for you now, and how do you find that for yourself?
Look, I belong wherever God puts me. That's where I'm at. Like, wherever space He allows me to go into, I belong here. It might be challenging in the beginning, but I belong here because I'm here for a reason. Whether I'm here just to put a smile on your face, I'm here to share a little bit of me so you can not feel so down about you. Whether I'm here to just hold your hand, or maybe I'm just here to say a quick hello, I'm learning that wherever I go, that is where I'm meant to be. I belong. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm like, nope, God, you sent me here, so I belong here for a reason. And it's challenging at times because it don't feel that way, but fact, I'm here for a reason. And so I belong here. And I even had to write a poem about belonging, because I had to keep telling myself, no, you belong here. No, you are supposed to be here. Don't you ever doubt yourself. I have to, the Bible says that David said, in Psalms it says David encouraged himself in the Lord. You have to encourage yourself. And sometimes I doubt myself, a lot of times. But I'm so thankful that there are people, certain people in my life, who continue to encourage me, because for a long time, I didn't have that. I was always the encourager. I was always holding everything together. And I finally realized that if I don't reach out, folks don't reach out. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But I'm so thankful that now there are people who do the things that I used to do for everybody else. And sometimes I don't feel like I belong, but I know I belong because this is who I am and this is where God put me. I belong. But I have to keep telling myself that, like, no, you belong. Don't doubt yourself. You're supposed to be here. But it's me giving myself a pep talk. So it's not always easy.
I love that. No, but and I think that's such a powerful way of one framing belonging, is that you belong everywhere. And it's because of whatever purpose you have to be in that space. But also what I heard is that you create belonging for others, which increases your ability to be able to belong, right? Your joy, your inspiration, your storytelling, your hugs, right? Like, those are all things that create belonging for others. I'm sure people feel seen in front of you. There's a power in that that is now valued, it sounds like, for you, which is so important, right? I see that the chat is blowing up. I want to honor all these great these thoughts people have. So I want to come in here and look and see who is in our chat. And if you haven't done it yet, please make sure you hit the heart button, like what you're hearing, share a comment, ask a question. We are here to engage. I think I saw something about belonging coming up here. Yes, and subscribe and hit the bell, of course. I think that the way that you're framing and reframing this, and I see Kevin Guinea. Kevin, welcome, Kevin from Substack. I love how you've made this transition to feeling you belong now. Absolutely. That's a powerful thing, because it sounds like, again, you took your power back. You reclaimed what was important to you, and you created it for yourself and for others. And learning to live in translation says this is powerful. Belonging, even when you don't feel like it, you do belong 100%. Absolutely. And thank you for joining us today. Absolutely. And that is so powerful. I hope that we're going to be hearing some of these poems soon. But I want to actually bring in, because to your point, right? And you kind of talked about this earlier when you mentioned, and congratulations on the fact, I know you said you were coming back from, you had been working late and you're here. So, I appreciate that. But I know that when we spoke, you were really going through recently a big transition in terms of your work circumstances. And you just wrote a recent blog, right? Called Faith It Till You Make It. And you really openly speak about this recent life setback and how you're navigating it, which just sounds like that's what you do on your blog. So go follow Cassie's blog, go look at her website. You'll see that she is constantly giving this inspiration and these ideas of how do we move through things. But I want to read an excerpt from what you wrote. You said, "For most of my life, I've spent my time raising children, my own and others. I've helped build up other people's dreams and encourage them to reach their potential. Now I'm at a point in my life where I'm finally choosing me. And if I'm honest, that's a little scary. Building a life that I don't need a vacation from, because that is what's included already." Tell me a little bit about this for you.
It's still a work in progress. But I can tell you that I took a vacation last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week, I think, whatever. 2 weeks ago. And I just decided to go out of town. I said I was going to honor my mom. My mom would have been 67 on the 18th of March, and she's no longer here. And so I wanted to go somewhere tropical, and I ended up in Puerto Vallarta.
Nice.
First time there. Love the people, even got some hugs, because I never meet a stranger. And took myself to I thought it was a 5-star restaurant. I don't know, but I don't usually do that kind of thing because I like to save all my money. But I took myself to a 5-star restaurant and was able to celebrate my mom in a way that she was never able to do. Everything that I'm doing now, I'm doing it for my ancestors and for me. And just enjoying life every day. I just wake up and say, thank you, God. Because so many people didn't wake up today.
Mm-hmm.
And I now work at a job. It's a physical job, but I love it. I ain't sitting at a desk right now. I'm actually throwing boxes and stuff, but I love the people. And I'm just thankful for it. Yeah, I come home and my body is hurting and all bruised, and I'm just so thankful to God because I'm starting over at 50. It is scary as all get out. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. All I know is I'm taking it one day, one step, one moment, one prayer at a time.
And inspiring others while you're doing it, which is really powerful, right? Because so many people are in those spaces. And I love this. This is on your website. This is all the people with their identity crisis book. I love it. It's beautiful. Very excited. And is that right? This is Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
This is the book. But I know that you have your most recent book coming out, and I want to talk about that as well. But I think the power in you, one, choosing yourself. That's huge. You went on a vacation. When's the last time you went on a vacation?
I haven't been on a vacation. Well, maybe 2 years ago I did take a vacation, but normally
We lost you. Tell me
Can you
more.
hear me now?
When was last? You said normally we.
Normally, I didn't do vacations. I did conferences with the church. Had to do with the church. So there was no vacation. So this was an actual vacation where I just woke up and just was there. I didn't bring work. I just wanted to see the people, ate the lovely food, and just relaxed. And that to me, and the water, the
Mm.
sun, the people, and not worrying about whatever was here was here. And my mom showed up while I was there, and so that it was a last minute trip. I just picked it and said, "Let's go." And my mom showed up while I was there. My mom was there on her birthday, and she showed up. And
Mm.
so
That is a truly beautiful thing, and I mean, again, you picked you, which is not something easy to do, which requires, like, this it's like an uncomfortable thing to pick you with children, with responsibilities, with everyone relying on you. I get it, right? Like, it's not easy, but tell me, how did it feel to choose Cassie every day? To decide what you wanted to do, what you wanted to eat, to spoil yourself?
it was uncomfortable
Mm.
because it's not something that it's normal to me. So it's challenging because I still call home and check on everybody. And did you eat today? Did you feed the dogs? Did you do this? It's like, can you just leave that over there and just be here? So I had to constantly keep telling myself, it's okay. You're okay. Everybody's okay. Take care of you. So it's still a learning process for me. It doesn't come easy because I take care of everybody. So because I was there for 5 days. So by the third day, I was like, this, okay, you can relax now. Just be here. Don't worry about wait for me to be like, okay.
That's I mean, but I appreciate the honesty of that, right? It's uncomfortable. It wasn't easy, and that's important to know because I think a lot of people are in that space of not wanting to choose themselves and overgiving because it's almost familiar, right? It's a pattern, it's trauma response, it's familiar, and it's hard to undo that familiarity and choose yourself. But when you don't, and you've talked about it, right? You're depleted, you're undervalued, you're underappreciated, right? And then you're left not always even having anything at the end of that. So the cost is higher for the discomfort of that little bit of time, right? And I mean, I do want to talk a little bit about. Well, actually, you were going to read something for us today, right? I want to give you an opportunity to. Are you reading from the new book, or are we reading from your first book?
I would just like to.
Oh, we lost you.
I said I would just like to read the introduction to my first book to give somebody just a little idea. Did you lose me?
Nope, we got you,
Okay.
and we're listening. We're ready.
So I'm gonna say a curse word.
That's okay.
The hate you give little infants fucks everyone. Thug life. But what about the hate I gave myself? You've seen it, but I've experienced it. And so now we got to go back to how we got here. This journey in this book took me 45. God, the marathon continues.
Casey, can I have you start from the beginning one more time because we lost you in between there, and I don't want to lose the momentum. Thank you.
The hate you give little infants fucks everyone. You've seen it, but I've experienced it. So now we got to go back to how we got here. This journey took me 45 laps around the sun. But because of God, the marathon continues. You see, I began writing this story in 2014, but it wasn't until 2021 through twists and turns, trauma, turmoil, pain, suffering, but also overcome and triumph. No one in this world, I want you to remember this. When
I
I
lost you.
were God's. Did you lose me again?
Yeah, when you said no one in this world, no, we lost you.
You know what? I don't know what is happening. Computer, you're going to have to get it together. No one else in this world has your fingerprints. None of us. Each of us have our own. This is our identity. Me and you, those of you watching this, those of you who are going to watch it later, we are God's masterpiece. Don't you ever forget that. No matter what you've been through, you're here today. So I just want to give you a little tidbit of that. I really did not like myself. I really hated myself to the point where I just got into some trouble, did some things, just it's a lot of triumph, but it's a lot of victory too. And it was through writing this book that I finally saw my mom, not as a mother, but as a human.
How did that change your relationship to her and with her?
It didn't happen till she was on her deathbed. And so we never really got to be what we needed to be for one another. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 bladder cancer. And it was on her deathbed, well, almost near her deathbed, she died a couple days later, that she said to me, she thought I hated her. And I told her, I thought you didn't love me. And she said, I didn't know how to love you. And so we came to a place of understanding and realization that we're both just navigating through trauma. My mom was 15 when she got pregnant with me. And it's not a good way that I came to be. So in writing this book, I learned more about me, but in writing my second book, I learned more about my mom. And I understand why she treated me the way she treated me. Because every time she looked at me, I reminded her of what she went through, of how I got here. So I was a constant reminder of a pain she him. And I didn't know that when I wrote this book. I didn't know that. And so my first book introduces you to everything that I've been through. My second book, there's a part 1 and a part 2, and I introduce you to my mom. And then you'll have a better understanding of everything that I went through. And identity crisis is correlated to the stuff that my mom went through. And so part 1 refers to my mom and her upbringing and all the things that she went through. And then part 2, my life. And I just thank God, because I know why I had to go through everything that I've gone through, so that I can be a light for those who are going through it right now, so that I can show you that You do belong here. No matter how you came into this world, you do belong here. No matter if you didn't get the love that you might have needed. I didn't get it from my mom, but I dang sure got it from my grandma. Because it was my grandma who would come at 1 o'clock in the morning. Girl, I'd be 13 years old down in the hood on the corner. It'd be 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'd call grandma. Half the time, I don't know if she knew I was high, but she would come half asleep in her pajamas and pick me up on the corner and bring me home. That was some unconditional love. So the love that my mom couldn't give me, she wasn't able to give me. I got it from my grandma. But it took me sitting down, writing it, reflecting, and be like, you know what? You may have missed out on this from mom, but you got so much more from grandma. And so, yeah, life is doing what life does.
Ooh. But to your point, your pain is your purpose, because the purpose is the sharing of the story with others, right? And even this purpose of, this layer of forgiveness, is some of it is recognizing the humanity of someone else and their own traumas that they themselves may not have even known how to heal. What a powerful thing for your mom to say to you, right? I didn't know
Yeah,
how.
I just thought
I
she
didn't
hated
know
me.
how, right? But at the same time, it sounds like your blessing was your grandma, because you had love. It wasn't your mom, but you had it, right? And there's healing in that. And I want to say, you didn't talk about it a lot here, but I know in our conversation I heard it, and you've mentioned it, but you also have done the transformative thing, which a lot of us don't always know how to do because we weren't loved the right way, right? Is you have transformed what it is to be a mother for your children. And not just your children, but you take in so many other people's children and love them, right? So what has that been like, to be able to break the generational trauma, to break the pattern? And when did you realize that you were doing that? Like, did you do it consciously? Did you do it unconsciously? Was it just what was it that propelled you to choose to be the mother you are?
I don't know if it was consciously. I just know that I was in so deep that it took me to have my son. And when I had my son, he saved my life. Because if I didn't have my son, I'd probably be locked up or dead somewhere. Mm. And so I just knew that I was going to be everything to my son that I didn't have for me. And I tried so hard, the whole father, mother, dog, all the things, so they can have everything that we didn't have, because we didn't have a father in the home. We had multiple men in the home. Wasn't my dad, which resulted in things happening to us. But I just wanted to be the best that I could for my son, even staying in an abusive relationship so that he could have the mother and the father. Thank God I left that. But I think I just did it unconsciously, like just always wanting someone to have a home, like, and always feeling like I just needed to give, and I just want people to be happy. And like I took in my sister's kids, and I took in my kids' half siblings. I raised them and my niece and nephews, and just wanting a family and to show love and to have structure and a place where you always belong. They know they can come here anytime. They just call and say, Auntie, I'm on the way. Okay, the door's unlocked. You always belong here. And I had that with grandma. Grandma instilled that in me. When you talked about in the beginning about nurturing, that is something that grandma instilled in me, was family is everything. We ain't going to always get along, but just know that my door is open. And if you need me, I'm here. And she was always here. When it's always been just me and my kids. And when I had to work 2 and 3 jobs, grandma was the one who came over every morning and woke them up to get them up for school, to take them sometimes to their sports, because I was at work. And so I just, love to make sure people know that they belong, that you just always have a place with me, whether that's here physically or I'm praying for you. So in my spirit, in my energy, like always interceding for people. And I just want them to know that you belong. Like, I don't want you to ever feel like you don't belong.
Mm. Mm. Well, kudos
That
to
is
you.
not a nice feeling.
No, I mean, and I think that that's what everybody needs. So Kevin says you radiate love and kindness, Cassie. Absolutely, absolutely. That joy, that kindness, and very intentional. Very intentional. So to your point, like nobody would know what you've gone through by looking at you, right? They think you're smiling and happy and like there's no pain, but there's so much that you have worked through, so much that you have come through, and now you're modeling it for others. So please, everybody, go follow her. Go read the books, get both the books. It's pre-order now, right? The
No,
audio
it's
now is
out
on
now.
pre-order. It's
It's
on.
out
Okay,
now.
it's out. It's
Mhm.
out now. Go and get it. All the links are below for you to get the books, to go to her website. Follow along on Cassie's blog. She gives really great advice, and I love the titles of your pieces. They're really clever, and and follow her on social media, because I know you always do videos. You're always going live. You're giving so much inspiration and joy. So if you need that moment, make sure that you're getting the notifications when Cassie goes live to get her energy and her joy. And so, as we're closing out, Cassie, I want to know, for someone who is still in that space of questioning, of wondering this, am I enough? Why, losing that love for themselves, where would you tell them to start? What's your word of advice for them in this moment of not knowing or even believing that they're worthy?
As hard as it can be, you need to look in the mirror. And as I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to me too, because I still have challenges in this area. But you need to look in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you are enough. I am enough. And I love me. I love you. Look in the mirror and speak to yourself. We have to learn how to speak positive to us and encourage ourselves as hard as it can be. Just looking in this camera is challenging for me. So, do I have time to share one piece?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is it okay if I share it now?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I wanted to share this because this piece is entitled I Belong Here. And I'm sorry, I don't know my stuff by heart just yet, so I have to read it. So
Oh, please. It's the writing that's the harder part. So we love that you're reading it for us. It's a treat.
So this poem is called I Belong Here. So I want you to listen to this poem. Just listen, close your eyes if you have to, and just listen to the words. It says, I belong here, no matter how high the cards are stacked. They say I'm too black to be white, and I'm too white to be black. But who are you to tell me I am unwanted in this space? God shows me his favor, and he extends me his grace. As my eyes start to water, you see frustration on my face. It's not a sprint, but a marathon, and I am running at my own pace. I am strong. I am courageous, determined. My smile is contagious. My hair is curly. My voice is loud. My grip on faith is tenacious. When I speak, you should listen. What is happening? Can you still see me, Myra?
Yes, we can see you and hear you.
Okay, I don't know what just happened. When I speak, you should listen. You might learn something new, which will bring you through. I am tired of all the clicks. Your words say I'm welcome, your actions do not. But God said I belong here. Do you hear me? Whether you like it or not. It was meant for me to be right here, right now in this space. My sharing is caring. I'm one of a kind. I cannot be replaced. God said I belong here, and with his word, I have provision. United, we can conquer anything. I came to this space to share a part of my story. With everything I have been through, God always gets the glory. My ancestors are guiding me through darkness and the light. They are constantly reminding me not to give up the fight. One punch, two punch, three punches, and now four. No matter how many hits I take, I'm going to walk through that open door. Why? Because I belong here, and there's nothing my God can't do. I have been planted, freshly watered, and now I'm sprouting, baby boo. I'm so sorry, I can't see the rest of this poem. Bear with me, y'all. I am the rose that grew from concrete, my stems filled up with love. My thorns may prick your finger, but my heart is pure as a white dove. No matter how many times you trim my branches, I continue to grow. And my beautiful red petals shine bright because I have that glow. I am here to leave my mark and to let the world know I exist. I am the gift that keeps on giving. Go ahead and unwrap me. Make your wish. I am here to stay. Don't turn me away. Even if you try, God will make a way. He is the Alpha and the Omega, and he always has the final say. And at the end of the day, I belong here. And so do you.
Beautiful. I love that. I tried to close my eyes for most of it, and then I was worried that we would have issues with technical.
I'm sorry. I was moving all around. But
no, you were fine. That was beautiful. And I mean, the reclaiming of your power of belonging through this poem, through what you said, right? Like no matter what. And I think your faith carrying you through it too, right? You know, no matter what. And you're telling all of us that all of us belong no matter what, right? To walk through those doors is beautiful. And Learning to Live in translation says, what a beautiful poem. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cassie. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your reading of your writing and your poetry and sharing your books and sharing your joy and your transformational power of showing us how pain becomes purpose. Please make sure that if you have not done it yet, that you go and follow her everywhere on all of the platforms as Cassie Karch, right? And Cassie, not Casey. Cassie Karch. Cassie.
Okay.
And that you are going to our website, go order the books. I'm so excited. These are beautifully written and the story is so powerful. You are a testament to faith, to not giving up, and to the truth of what it is to heal so honestly and openly, in that we are this constant work of art, right? Constant work of art. And it's not always easy. Please, if you haven't done it yet, also please follow me. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you are watching every Sunday at 8 p.m. for Pain to Power for more dynamic guests of turning their struggles into their strengths. Follow me on Substack, on TikTok, on Instagram. I am Brown Girl Interrupting. Please make sure, Cassie, if you want, go read my post with Kevin, who's been in the chat. And welcome to all my Substack family who joined us today, to our iRant family. Thank you so much. Isaiah Profile says, powerful podcast. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Logic. Thank you both for this conversation. Truly powerful. Absolutely. And thank you for tuning in. We appreciate having you here in the chat. Thank you. And yes, have a beautiful evening, everyone. And please remember, you are enough. You belong. Create your spaces, find your power, and do not allow anyone else to take it from you. Peace, love, and light. Thank you again, Cassie.